right. Let's see if we can get some audio now. We have had some extreme technical difficulties. So coming at you this evening to update you on some Facebook newsfeed changes that were announced last week. Facebook came out last Thursday, and they announced some major changes that are going to be happening to the newsfeed. Now, this presents a pretty good opportunity. Like if you are a funeral home or a cemetery or death care company that is doing very organic and real content, this update really gives you the opportunity to be able to stand out amongst competition, be able to create content that is extremely valuable. So basically the update from Facebook is that they're going to be giving priority in the news feed now to content that comes from friends and family, and less priority to content that comes from brands, unless brands are creating content that is driving social conversation and meaningful social engagement. So Facebook uses that term, meaningful social engagement, after they've done a study over the last few months of the way that people feel when they leave Facebook. And what they found is that people have a really good feeling when they have valuable conversations and comments back and forth around friends and family content. So Facebook is making that shift to try to keep users engaged in content and have a more meaningful conversation while they're there. So brands that can create content, and I'm referring to brands as funeral homes are brands and businesses. So brands that can create meaningful content are going to be able to get higher priority in the newsfeed. And if you're not, then you're not going to get higher priority, and you're going to get very bad reach of the content that you're creating. So what this does is it allows funeral homes the opportunity now to create content that is extremely valuable in driving conversation. So the content that's going to appear in the newsfeed now and have priority is going to be content from friends and family. So this is a great opportunity for funeral homes to utilize their personal profile. So if you don't have a personal profile on Facebook, or you have a personal profile and you don't engage very much there, I would encourage you to make sure that you start using that personal profile, start engaging there so you really understand how Facebook works, but use your personal profile as a way to start building your personal brand. Because at the end of the day, you have your business brand, which is your funeral home, and then you have your personal brand. There's a lot of families in your community, they go see you. So use this opportunity to build your personal brand, share content from your funeral home page to your personal profile on Facebook, and start leveraging that exposure that you're going to get because it's considered friends and family content. But make sure it's content that's valuable and is going to get engagement, or that's not going to appear in the feed of the user. So it's really important that you're creating content that sparks meaningful engagement. Video is a great way to do this. Video prompts a lot of response and engagement, specifically live video, and I'll talk about that in a second. But video, especially Facebook Live, is going to be able to generate that authentic engagement. And what I mean by authentic engagement is all of you have seen content when you're on Facebook that you know brands have put out and people have put out simply to try to get engagement. It's not content that's relevant to their brand whatsoever. It's more meme and funny humor content that can borderline silly and not valuable, but it gets a lot of social engagement. So Facebook's going to be monitoring what the content is that's getting the engagement. If you're doing things like baiting or clickbaiting, so Facebook has, by telling people to comment, like, share, that is called considered baiting or clickbaiting, and Facebook is starting to decrease the reach of that content. So they're really focusing on that authentic engagement around real valuable content. So it's really extremely important that you're creating that kind of content. So what you want to do, some certain things that you should do right away to kind of address this. And again, we don't know when these changes are going to be taking place. It's going to be over the course of the next few weeks, and the next few months. We're going to be seeing some of these changes take place. And so you should be monitoring your content and deciding whether or not content is getting good reach or decrease in reach. If it is, you need to change up the content that you're doing if it's not generating that authentic engagement. But encourage fans to follow your page and click the see first button. So when someone follows or likes your page, they can choose in the menu to see first, meaning that Facebook will put that content from your page at the top of their newsfeed. They still won't see every single post, but they're going to see a far majority of your posts, and they'll see that first in their newsfeed. Use Facebook Live more often. Facebook Live gets 6 times the engagement that a normal video does, and a normal video is getting 75% more engagement than any other type of content. So Facebook Live, I know a lot of you may be uncomfortable doing Facebook Live videos, but there's very easy ways to do that and very easy ways to set up a Facebook Live around content where you don't have to be the center focus, but you could be live streaming a community event or some volunteer opportunities that you have in your newsfeed. We actually have some clients that have live streamed on behalf of the client family. They have live streamed through Facebook a memorial service, which those typically are getting a lot of engagement and conversation. And really that's what Facebook's looking for. They're looking for engagement in terms of reactions, and then even more engagement in terms of conversations back and forth, so comments on a post. Use groups. So we're testing this feature with a number of our clients where we've set up different groups, as far as groups in terms of a grief and inspirational group that's connected to a page. Facebook allows you to do that now. Your page can be linked to a group. Group content stays within the group, so it does not it's not really falling under the parameters of the newsfeed algorithm. So groups is a great way to get content in front of people. You could do a number of different groups around grief and inspiration, around pre-need discussions, around obituaries. So we have seen since this update last week, I've read a couple articles from other companies in the profession that are encouraging funeral homes to post obituaries on Facebook as a way to generate more engagement and more conversation. And this is absolutely false. Unless you are in a small town where you already get a lot of engagement around obituaries. If you're posting obituaries currently and there's a lot of conversation that is happening around obituaries, absolutely keep posting obituaries, because that conversation is going to be valuable. But if you are putting out obits now and they are not getting engagement as far as comments and likes and shares, then stop doing it, because that is going to drastically decrease the reach of your other content under this new algorithm. So be cautious of who's telling you to post obituaries. If there's something to gain by that company telling you to post obituaries, like they have a sympathy store that they make more money on when you drive more traffic to your obituaries, then be cautious about posting obituaries, because across the board, all the analytics with the hundreds of funeral homes that we work with, obituary content is the single least engaging piece of content on Facebook that a funeral home is posting. So make sure that you're posting content that is valuable. And in groups is one way to have obits on Facebook that can notify people who follow that group connected to your page. Use events. So if you are going to be volunteering in your community or you are having an event at your funeral home, set up a Facebook event, because users that subscribe to that event or RSVP to that event are able to get notifications, which brings them back to your page, and it creates more engagement and more conversation with them. Ensure that your content is highly relevant and valuable. Link backs to your website. If you're just linking back to a pre-need page on your website, that's not valuable content, and it's not going to be content that's creating engagement. So make sure that every single post that goes out is valuable, and relevant content. And the last thing, Facebook ads. You absolutely should be running Facebook ads. We have said it before. We have done a number of pieces of content around Facebook ads, how cost effective they are, and the ability to be able to target specifically the user that you want to engage is extremely, extremely valuable. But Facebook is turning into pay to play. I actually shouldn't say turning into. Facebook will now be pay to play. If you are not running Facebook ads, it's going to be massively difficult for you to get organic reach and organic engagement without running Facebook ads and getting eyeballs to your page. So Facebook ads are going to be massively relevant, and you need to absolutely be doing those. So what you shouldn't be doing is you shouldn't be freaking out. Like, don't pay attention to all the things that you're reading mainstream. I've seen a number of funeral homes sharing content from Adweek and some of these different organizations that have really made this update like Armageddon. Like, this is going to dramatically change the way that Facebook is used. Really, what this is the end of is this is the end of businesses putting out crap content and being able to get engagement around it. This is Facebook making businesses have to focus on what the consumer really wants, and more about the consumer's agenda and their followers' agenda than their own personal agenda, and putting out content that is going to be extremely valuable and make that interaction on Facebook extremely valuable with the page. So it is important, if you are paying a service in the profession right now, to buy content that is automated onto your Facebook page, and it is just generic content. Generic content would be grief and inspirational posts, content that is not focused core on your funeral home. It doesn't have pictures of you. It doesn't show you out in the community or your staff out in the community doing things that are specific to your firm. And it's grief and inspirational, Bible quotes, links back to your website or links to third-party websites that have information that really doesn't get a lot of engagement. If you are just buying content, you are going to be at an extreme disadvantage. You would be better off posting once a month and making it a really highly organic post than just buying generic content to post on your page, because what's going to happen is the content that you're putting out that you're paying for is not going to generate the conversation engagement that Facebook is looking for. Therefore, they're going to decrease the reach of your post down to about 0, where nobody's going to see the content you put out, and you're spending money to get that content. So if you're paying for generic content, I would highly recommend that you stop, and I would make sure that you are crafting a social media strategy that is focused on the consumer and the content that the consumer wants to engage with from a funeral home. Organic content that showcases you and your staff and what you're doing and how you're doing it differently than everybody else. Organic content gets 1,200% more engagement than generic content. So when we test content across the board with our hundreds of clients, we look at organic content versus some of the generic content that we may put out. Organic content gets 1,200% more engagement than generic content. So it is extremely, extremely important that when you look at this Facebook update, you understand that this update is not to penalize businesses. This update is absolutely to make businesses provide better content for consumers, and it's making it harder and harder to kind of game the system around engagement. You have to be putting out valuable content. The cream will rise to the top, and crap content will get treated exactly as what it is, crap content. So going forward, make sure that your content is organic, it's relevant, it's timely, it humanizes your brand, and it provides valuable information and valuable engagement for your audience. So if you've got any questions on this update and any concerns, make sure you comment below. We'll get back on here. We'll answer those comments in the comments below. You can always email me. My email address is right there on the screen. If you have any questions, though, please reach out to us. Let us kind of walk you through this update so you fully understand that this is not Armageddon. This is not the end of Facebook being valuable. This absolutely gives you the opportunity to bring extreme value to your consumer and get rewarded for it, because you're going to have favor in the newsfeed, and you're going to be able to trump your competition because the majority of funeral homes are just putting out automated junk. And this allows you to elevate your game, create content that is valuable, and absolutely win that online conversation. And that provides you the opportunity to be able to drive super cost-effective leads through Facebook. And if you're not driving leads already, then you absolutely need to email me, because we are driving an extensive amount of leads for our clients that are paying off in the tune of $10,000 to $20,000 a month in revenue through pre-need leads coming through Facebook. So questions, comments, concerns, post them below. We will answer them. Really appreciate you watching this. Until next time, keep disrupting.